So I'm going to share 3 real-life case examples of why neuropsych assessments can be critical. One, I had a family come to me with a child who was severely intellectually disabled, and they were promised by someone who was administering neurofeedback that he would be cured from his intellectual disability. The family had taken out a second mortgage on their home. They were given false hope. They spent all their money. It was unfortunately myself and another colleague who had to explain that intellectual disability 99.99999% of the time is permanent. There would be no miraculous recovery from neurofeedback. A second example, a family who came to me because their child had never received a proper diagnosis. They happened to be a Latino family, and the son was only evaluated by early intervention. The family could not afford a neuropsychological evaluation prior to coming and seeking my services. And the parents were concerned because the child was coming home with bruises. He wasn't receiving nearly any of the supports he should have been receiving through school. When the parents did have meetings with the school, they would constantly call them by the wrong Hispanic last name, and the child was making minimal progress. So in that case, because of the evaluation, the child was able to get significantly more services. The parents were able to be connected with an advocate, and their concerns were certainly listened to. The third example is a young adult who came to me with a long-standing history of a bipolar diagnosis, feeling very confused and frustrated, feeling like she was misunderstood her whole life. And, after reviewing the records and performing some testing, it was very obvious to me that she was not bipolar, but in fact, she was autistic. And, she felt really validated because her parents had unrealistic expectations and were blaming everything on her mood and behavior, felt that she should just be able to get a job and take her medicine and be okay. But the reality is she was on antipsychotics instead of what she really needed to be on, which was an SSRI and or a non-stimulant medication to treat her inattention. So she didn't have the effective strategies, she didn't have the right medication, the right accommodations, or the right diagnosis. So these are some examples of why a neuropsych assessment can really change the course of people's lives. Just understanding what they need, understanding what's realistic, what to expect, not being taken advantage of or exploited, and being treated with the proper respect.